All right, guys, welcome to the Luna Lounge podcast, episode 7. Just remembered that we don't actually come up with titles for episodes until after the episode. I don't know why I keep trying to come up with an introduction. So there you go. There's the first fail of today.
Welcome to the Luna Lounge, Luna Loungers. Episode 7, go.
Episode 7. We
At least we got
have
it right this time.
This is true. The lucky episode. I honestly am shocked at the positive reception for the podcast. And speaking of positivity, we have a couple of lovely new guests today for our Pokemon themed episode. We have the lovely Marcia. Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, so it's Marcia. It's spelled like Marcia.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's fail number 2.
But it's Marshmallow.
One more fail and you're out, tFay. Don't get it wrong again.
But I'm a marshmallow because I'm very squishy and soft. Yeah, nice to meet you guys. I'm a variety streamer. I haven't been doing a whole lot lately just because work's been really busy, but starting next week, I'm off for the summer. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be playing a lot more.
Hell yeah. And then we have, we have a Lugia here. I'm just going to call him...
Lugia appeared.
Apparently he's played Gen 3 too much, though, because he's dubbed himself the name Wally for some weird reason. Weird Lugia Wally, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it looks like it's spelled Wally, but it is pronounced Lugia. But no, I'm
W silent.
the W silent. Oh, but yeah, so I'm Wally the Bandit. I'm a variety streamer as well. You know, a lot of my stuff is kind of centered around Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, I guess hence the Lugia and all that, but been doing a few other things too. You know, been playing some MLB, some Call of Duty, you know, things where it's not as peaceful as playing Pokemon. But then also been doing actually like react videos and stuff on YouTube, and that's been interesting. So, but it's, yeah. And of course, as tFay and Noctis know, I am definitely the person who killed Lugia in our tag lock.
All right, so you're saying that Call of Duty is not as peaceful as Pokemon, and we'll get into this more later, but you were just telling us before we started that you got wrecked by a bunch of children using rage powder.
What? Okay, well, first of all, they weren't children. All right. I am proud to announce that I got beat up by adults. All right.
I just always assumed they're children.
Well, you know what? Okay, I think rage powder is still a little more peaceful than using a shotgun to just try to take out a whole bunch of people on a map.
Did the shotgun have stickers on it, though? That makes it peaceful, right?
No, but I did put a camo on it. Maybe I should put some stickers on it. Then I can say that I'm a more
camo doesn't make it
streamer.
peaceful. If you put a sticker on it, right? That if you get a sticker from PandaBunnyStudios.com, our sponsor, and you slap that sticker right on your shotgun, 100% more peaceful. Confirmed.
Very, very true. The sticker, they're available in Fortnite. We're working on getting them to Call of Duty, though. One day.
One day. Hit us up with that sponsorship, though, if you want to jump up the waiting list, Call of Duty, you know. Valorant, Apex. All right.
Yes,
you like
Mr. Call of Duty, please give us a call.
I hear that, you know, Apex is starting to get more popular, especially with the VTuber scene. So, you know, if you guys like the VTuber episode Apex, you know, hit us up for that sponsorship. You know, we'll totally do an Apex episode.
Actually, that sounds like a really neat addition. That if Apex could somehow work your character model, or actually this works for any game, work your character model into your stream as what you're as a VTuber. Can you imagine playing through Halo and like Microsoft somehow give you a plugin for a Master Chief VTuber model? That'd be kind of cool.
But if I remember correctly, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I genuinely don't remember. Isn't Halo a first-person shooter until the moment you die? So you're basically asking for a plugin to see your character die over and over again?
All right, so you did understand my concept. You just decided to critique my choice of example. Okay, let's say your character in Fortnite.
Oh, okay, sounds
the point
good. I mean, I
point
wasn't
is,
sure.
that would be
if-
cool.
I wasn't sure what your goal was there because I remember explicitly playing Halo as a kid and finding it so fascinating that they changed it to third person specifically when you die, unlike other first-person shooters, because they actually want you to see your body flying about.
I mean, that does sound like a lot of fun. Just thinking about the VTubers that I've created for like different stuff, seeing them like just as like running around in Call of Duty or something would be hilarious. Like my little goblin.
I
Actually,
mean,
yeah, that has any. Do we know any VTubers that have done that, where they created a character model in their game to match their VTuber model?
no, I don't know anyone that like. I'm not sure if I want to say that skilled, but I think I can confidently say that skilled.
Well, like
That's fair.
even in like the, let's say, the constraints of it. Like, let's say you're going Cyberpunk 2077. Even though you can't super get accurate with it, you could probably get close.
Oh, you mean just like recreate them within the confines of the character creation?
Yeah. Have we seen anyone do that?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I mean,
I
I
feel
kind of did that. Because and I am not using her as much anymore because I am doing a face cam now, but I had my little goblin VTuber, and on my Stardew Valley game that I'm playing with Hazelsaurus Rex and Zombie Cookie, we play like maybe every other week, but I have a little green goblin on there. I mean, it's 8-bit, but
I
let's
was
go.
gonna say a lot of that does depend on the complexity of the VTuber
Yeah.
model, because some VTuber models have basically like $10,000 of fashion put into their outfits, and I'm just like, well, you're glad you're a VTuber, because I couldn't imagine someone wearing that every day.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know you can't exactly recreate like Wally's model here with a Lugia body, but you could get kind of close with
Whoa,
some
whoa,
pulled
whoa!
back hair
I
and a
will
beard.
say though that I've seen Skyrim mods do some crazy dragons. Can you imagine you're about to get your head chopped off, and suddenly you see Wally's Lugia body with a Wally's head flying on top of the tower and just screaming?
I gotta find someone who can actually do that for me then. I would be, it's screw my face cam. No one wants to see my actual face. I'm going with the Lugia VTuber.
I
Oh my
mean, that would be amazing, and I think that would borderline get more views.
Be unique.
It would be very unique.
We,
I
we
mean,
have
but-
had discussions of how VTubers can just based on the model can increase your view count.
Yeah. And I mean I like having my VTuber. She does lag out some of my games just because it's running a lot of different stuff, but I think my biggest thing is that I can't emote as well as I can in real life. Like she's got like 5 emotions. I have a few more than that. So,
Yeah, that's
think 8, right?
general. It's like
Yeah, 8,
hard.
the normal human number, right?
Yeah.
yes, average human number.
Yeah, you got happy, sad, mad, hungry. All right, I guess I only have 4. My bad.
You couldn't even do the 7 dwarves. You couldn't even hit 7. You couldn't even hit 7.
Doc is a great emote. I love it. What a classic.
Yeah, that's obviously the equivalent of intellectual or pressured by your parents. Either or.
We don't. I'm not Asian. I didn't have my parents pressuring me to be a doctor.
Well, stop
tFay.
rubbing it in.
I knew you were getting at. Oh man.
So yeah, up to our first actual question, because we've already started off with the biggest of tangents. To Marcia and Wally, what made you get I know you're a variety streamers, because as Noctis likes to rant every stream, everyone's a variety streamer. But let's say for the sake of argument, we're gonna call you Pokemon streamers for discussion's sake. All right, what made you guys want to stream like Pokemon per se?
I mean, Marcia, you want to start?
You can go first. I don't have a good answer for that yet.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. For me, like, I didn't start off playing Pokemon. Like, I honestly started playing off just playing Call of Duty and like occasionally Zelda too. But you know, I just kind of got bored of Call of Duty after a little while, and I started playing Pokemon, and you know, that's actually how I met a few of my mods, and and then it just kind of grew from there, and that's how I met you guys as well. And so I figured, after playing Pokemon for a little bit and meeting a few more people, like I really love the community. Like it's really been great, despite the fact that I get made fun of for knocking out a Lugia every time I come into chat. I still love hanging out with you guys. Like you guys are a lot of fun, and like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but just the community was really the biggest reason why I wanted to stay in the Pokemon community. And even with like the Pokemon cards as well. Like I know it's kind of, it's all along the same lines because it's all Pokemon related material, but just because you play the games doesn't mean you collect the cards and vice versa. So, but I'm just very happy that both communities are very, generally accepting and just very friendly.
He likes us.
That's a fair comparison. That the Pokemon TCG community isn't the same as, say, the Pokemon games. Pokemon has pretty much been popular on Twitch since Twitch was Twitch.
Yeah.
All they do is add another game and more people get interested. Whereas the trading card game, it seems there's been an uptick since, and I hate saying his name. Was it Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
No, it was Logan Paul.
And he bought like $200,000 worth of Pokemon cards, right?
Yes, and he basically started the revolution.
Yeah, apparently.
So we'll give a quick explanation for anyone not in the up and up on the TCG scene and just confused what the heck we're talking about. So Logan Paul, if you somehow don't know who Logan Paul is, he's just TLDR, he's an influencer, all right? He's just a popular influencer, all right? Like your PewDiePie, your Pokemon, all this stuff. Basically, whenever he does anything, everyone's going to watch him, right? And he decided to open up a shit ton, and I mean a shit ton, of Pokemon packs and just do what's called pulls. Is where you try to get, the really rare cards that, for some people are really cool. Everyone wanting their Charizard back in the day just to say they had one. Nowadays, it's so you can make tons and tons of money. And once people, especially during the pandemic, realized that was a way of gaining income, they started just scalping, not even cards, but the literal packs. And normally, you go, what's wrong with that? That's more money for Pokemon. Well, they couldn't exactly print enough cards to meet the demand, especially during pandemic. So it started a lot of issues where most people not only couldn't buy cards, but there were actually violent acts, crimes, and there's literally even incidents, not going to go into too many details, where people pulled out knives and guns over Pokemon cards. Literally, not even like specific cards like Wally, you have a rare Lugia GX, give it to me. It's you have a pack. You have a Pokemon pack that was bought for $3. Give it to me now, or I'll pull a weapon on you.
The average pack cost is $4.12. tFay, get on our level.
I'm sorry, I haven't actually bought a TCG pack since the olden days because I'm old, as is pointed out every episode.
And
Me too.
You know what's stupid? I was at Walmart and I bought 3 packs. I walked over because I was like, oh, I heard Target no longer sells these. They had 3 packs left, and I have no reason to. I don't know why. I fucking bought 3 packs of Pokemon cards. I've opened one, and now I have 2 sitting on my desk. I'm just waiting for them to go up in value, and then I'm gonna scalp them on eBay.
You heard it first. You're first. Noctis promoting scalping. But no, legit, Pokemon cards are. It is basically turned into a weird stock market thing.
It's popular. I've been in your chats, Wally. You do pull in decent numbers when you're opening Pokemon cards.
It's not too bad. Yeah, it's and plus it's for me it's fun to do, and I've watched other people open Pokemon cards too, like like PokeRev and like Leon Hart and people like that, And they open like a lot of the vintage packs, the ones that are, hey, 20-30,000 for a booster box nowadays. And it's fun because it's like, in a way, it's like gambling, but like I don't have to pay any money to gamble. I mean, I don't get the cards, but it's nice to see like these great cards get pulled and things that bring back, all those memories of opening them when I was younger. And that's really what it is for me, the nostalgia.
Well, that's what it is for a lot of people, right? That's why a lot of people just like Pokemon streams in general. Hashtag Twitch plays Pokemon. But it's just very interesting seeing how, the biggest problem that people have in the Pokemon game industry is the graphical quality and whether or not we have a national dex. And in the Pokemon TCG world,
you know what the other problem is? You can't easily stream a DS or a 3DS game. That's the part that really sucks. Like you have to use an emulator. Even though obviously you wouldn't download a Pokemon ROM, none of us here would. I just want that on the record.
That would be wrong.
So how about you, Marcia? What made you start streaming Pokemon games?
Well, so streaming is pretty new to me. I started at I think my first stream was at the very like last day of February. And basically like this whole last year, I said earlier, I'm a teacher. This last year I've had to teach virtually. And so like before this, like I loved streamers and watching them, but I was always like, oh, I could never do that. Well, here comes this year and I had to. And I basically stream every day, all day, but teaching. So the jump was kind of logical for me. And when I started streaming, Pokemon's something that I've been playing since, Blue, Red, and Yellow were out. Literally the first game I ever bought myself, like with my own money, I saved up. I got an Atomic Purple Game Boy Color, and I got Pokemon Yellow. So like, it's in my blood. I figured it'd be an easy place to start.
Wow.
And once, like, I have a few like IRL friends who are streamers, and I was kind of hanging around one of their chats, and they raided over to Wally, and I was like, oh hey, here's somebody who plays like games that I play. And like the community is just so positive. Like it's my mental health day hanging out with a bunch of Pokemon nerds, so it's been really good for me.
Actually, that sounds like a quick way to get to higher stream numbers. You could teach on Twitch and then just make all of your students, just make them watch you on Twitch. There you go.
No. The ones I teach would break terms of service if they made accounts. They're not old enough yet.
Fair enough.
That
and
is.
I wouldn't be allowed to cuss, and I do like to cuss.
Yeah, like that definitely is a thing. Like if you are like doing a teaching job or something like that, you definitely are. Well, especially if you're teaching younger kids, you can't exactly say, hey, go all watch me, because under 13 isn't allowed to be on Twitch to begin with.
Okay, so 8th graders and older. All right, this is high school teachers. I'm just spitballing here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you could get probably most of 7th grade and up. But yeah, no, the kids I'm teaching are a little too young. And honestly, I don't think I want that part of my life over here, because like there's a different level of like professionalism I have for that versus me like raging at a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
so I don't want them to see that side of me.
I mean, I would definitely say, if someone's gonna find out, I'm not gonna go crazy, but I want you to be in the chat. I want you to not tell me you know me. I want you to not tell me who you are. All right, watch chat, enjoy, and just keep me ignorant.
Yep.
I was gonna say we asked this of previous people that were here. Do you keep your streaming life separate from your like IRL life? We'll call it.
For me, yeah. To an extent, I do have a couple of like real life friends who are streamers, like who I personally know outside, who got me into it. And then I've got some friends who are streamers that I met through streaming that, when the day comes and everybody's vaccinated, we'll probably hang out. But I keep a lot of the rest of it separate. Like, I don't necessarily want to use the same accounts for everything, that kind of stuff. Just for my own privacy.
I hear you.
How about you, Wally?
Yeah, I usually, I mean, there are a couple like real life friends and a few like family members that will occasionally watch and all that too. But for the most part, I usually do kind of keep them separate. I mean, I know it's a big surprise, but Wally the Bandit is not my first, middle, and last name.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
I know. It's a bombshell to drop here. You guys are hearing it here first too, but no. So I try to.
No, obviously, first, middle, last is the Bandit Wally. All right.
I thought it was like a nickname, Wally the Lugia Bandit. That's what I thought.
I just couldn't fit Lugia in there. That's the issue.
Oh, and I forgot, sorry. And one of my biggest fans who hangs out in my chat is my mother. So there is some real life crossover there. She's so sweet. She's always there to give me views.
I mean, those who know anything about like those who are familiar with my streams at all, it's a bit weird for me to say keeping IRL life and stream life separate, considering that I technically met my current girlfriend now through Discord/Twitch, so it kind of already tied the two together. I don't really have a way around it.
When are you gonna you guys are gonna live stream the wedding? I hope.
It
would be wrong of you not to.
I feel like
all right. If we were to live stream the wedding, it would have to be funded by chat. All right, that is the requirement.
Sorry.
Okay,
Kate paid me to see where this was going, and I had to ask. I'm sorry. I'm a shill.
Okay, so I have a thought there. Your wedding is being live streamed, and your guests are also Twitch streamers who are live streaming it on their channel so that everybody can send you bits as gifts.
Ooh.
Like a mega multi-stream wedding. It'll be the biggest Twitch event ever.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, oh my gosh. That's just like, I'm just thinking of what it's like, especially if you do things like Pokemon, right? Where like because Pokemon is just something that you did. What's words I'm looking for? You kind of naturally talk about yourself more when you stream Pokemon versus something else. So like if you're talking about, if you're playing, like, let's say one of my streams, like, I just beat Littlewood yesterday, right? Littlewood doesn't really encourage questions about me personally, but like, if we're talking about Pokemon, the first question that everyone always asks you as a Pokemon streamer is like, what's your favorite Pokemon? And then Noctis, says Umbreon, and everyone's like, well, Noctis is evil, dark type confirmed.
You said it, not me.
And then if someone says their favorite Pokemon is Gardevoir, suddenly go, oh wow, another weeb, look like in all the pictures on the internet.
tFay's a horny weeb. That's the only thing he cares about.
All right.
Gardevoir, he probably likes Lopunny as well. What a pervert.
Actually, not a fan of Lopunny personally.
But that's a nice cover. We're all believing it.
I mean, I'll admit I love Gardevoir all day. All right, I'll admit I love Gardevoir all day, but no, Lopunny is not my thing.
But
I
can look at favorite Pokemon. Wally likes Dragonite, so he's into Thickums. That's pretty cool.
I am not going to confirm or deny that.
How are you? What about you, Marcia? What's your favorite Pokemon?
Okay, well, my favorite Pokemon is adorable, but I don't think that it says anything about my love life. It's Torchic.
You like it spicy. There you go.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily say about your love life,
but you know what?
Right?
It's a fire type and it's a bird, so I like hot chicks. right?
Yeah, there you go.
I applaud
Yeah.
that one.
I honestly like the joke I always make is Torchic, because it's fire and it's a bird. It's already halfway to a chicken nugget. Like,
Oh man.
let's go.
I mean, could you? I don't know if you guys have ever done this. Like, actually try to analyze people based on their favorite Pokemon or something like that. So, like, if someone, let's say, it's favorite, like they really like dragons. You could say that they, are more assertive. They want to be empowering, like that kind of embodiment. Versus, like, if someone's favorite Pokemon is Mimikyu, maybe they just relate to that so much because, like, everyone on Twitch, we all have imposter syndrome and are like, we're not like this person who's super popular, Pikachu. We want to be like you, and so we're gonna start copying you. Man, that got a bit too real. What?
Yeah, I thought you know that I dress like Tsukino. God damn it, my secret is out. Oh no.
Well, okay, so my favorite type is fairy type. What do y'all think that says about me?
You're whimsical.
That you like a lack of variety.
That you like putting dragons in their place.
Okay, all of those work for me. All right.
I'll see there you go. You can learn a lot about someone by their favorite Pokemon.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? So Pokemon, we weren't even trying this conversation, by the way. This is not scripted. Even just talking about that, we started talking about our personal selves and what we think of each other. And that's just something you don't really get with other genres, per se. And I just find that very interesting, I guess you can say. Even for other similar games like Pokemon clones, like you never hear this kind of talk about Digimon. You never say what's your favorite Digimon. Like, oh, your favorite Digimon is Where Cyber Garu Grey Third Demon Head, Mon.
Or Angela.
You have to put the Mon on the end.
Yeah, you just remember you have to say Mon at the end. And I don't watch Digimon currently, but it just hurts my head. Like,
that's one of the cool things about Pokemon. It doesn't matter who you are. Most people are familiar with at least the first gen. But for me, most people know up to the current gen. I never say, oh yeah, I really like Lucario, and people are like, who's Lucario? Like, people know Pokemon, and it's a universal game that I don't think almost any other franchise can boast. That familiarness with the franchise. Maybe Mario, but like Call of Duty, it's all based on it's all based on kills. You don't care about the characters.
I would say Kingdom Hearts is probably my go-to in terms of a fandom where people really care about the characters in it.
That has Disney. That's unfair. That is a unfair comparison.
Even if you ignore the Disney characters in the game, all right? Ignore the Disney characters, all right? Your King movie, your Goofy, and your Donald. I mean, the amount of jokes and memes that I see about, like, who got Norted, as it were. And it took me months to even understand what Norted even meant because I never played Kingdom Hearts. And it's just like...
I feel like Kingdom Hearts is the Twin Peaks of video games. Like, you gotta put in the time or you're never gonna understand that damn game. It's a tough one. It really is.
Yeah, that's one of those games that not that I couldn't get into it because it wasn't a good game, just because you're right, there's just so much to it, and just, I don't know, I felt like I was going crazy like the first time I tried to play it, that I was like, okay, nope, gonna go to something a little more like mindless, like a first-person shooter.
Right, so...
That's fair. My Kingdom Hearts is very, very, like, the first game, it's really boring at first. Like, my wife Vixen didn't even get off the island because she said, "Fuck this. This is boring. I don't want to play this." And I can't really argue that. I know what comes after because I have the persistence to go past it, but I can't blame someone for not wanting to play the island segment of Kingdom Hearts 1.
So this is an interesting question, right? So, and this goes for like everybody, right? Do you find that you lean more towards playing more straightforward and simple games, whether it be your Call of Duty or your Pokemon, or to call me out, just to include myself, a farm sim, because you don't have to explain what's going on to the chat. Because if you're playing, like if I remember one of my first games ever streamed was Persona 4 Golden, right? And someone came to my chat and they're like, why are you fighting this big muscle dude holding two like male symbols in his hands as weapons? And I'm like, oh, well, it's quite simple. You see, this character was unable to confront with the fact that he was gay, and so someone kidnapped him, threw into the TV, and summoned his inner personality as an evil demon to kill him in order to gain energy to get more powerful. And we're going in there to help him confront himself, so that way he could accept that he's gay and move on with his life. And then they're like, huh, yeah, I'm out. Yep, nope. I'm confused already.
Yeah, they didn't say I'm out. They just left in the middle of your explanation.
Well, no, they're actually an IRL friend, so they actually told me they were leaving because of my explanation. They legitimately told me they were leaving.
Oh, that kind of hurts, but I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, no, it was right when I was beginning, and it really made me, like, kind of push me towards avoiding games that are super, super heavy story-based, unless, it's very short. Like, I'm currently playing the Famicom Detective Club game, and that obviously you need to know what's happening, but those games also are lasting me 2 streams. So, like, if someone isn't able to follow along, it's not that bad. But, like, if I was streaming... No, I'm not calling out Kingdom Hearts streamers when I say this. Like, if I was to stream Kingdom Hearts and a bunch of people, like, let's just say half my viewer audience didn't watch Kingdom Hearts before, like, never played it, they'd be so confused and I wouldn't even know how to explain to them what's going on.
Yeah. So as far as I like the stuff that I stream, I kind of stick to games that I know well or are like something that I've never played before, but it's like a staple game. Like I love Stardew Valley. I've put like way too many hours into it. I own it on like 5 different systems. And then so like of course that's one that I'm gonna play. I love Pokemon. I'm gonna play Pokemon. I've never played Mario 64, so that was one that I was like, I'm gonna need to play this because, like, how did I make it to 30 without ever trying this game? But yeah, I kind of stick to stuff that's a little bit easier, like on my brain, because I've also got to do stuff like talk to the chat, things like that. I think if I got too complicated and tried to play Persona or something like that, I would just like, I'd be silent. You'll never hear from me again.
Maybe that's one of the advantages of Pokemon. Like as a turn-based RPG, you take your time. That gives you time to interact with your chat, as opposed to like a Call of Duty shooter, where you're constantly like trying to focus on the game. I'm curious, Wally. How do you balance that? How do you balance like trying to chat while trying not to get stabbed in the back by a guy that was 7 frames ahead of you?
Yeah, and I was going to say that too because Marcia, brought up a really good point, and that's part of the reason why I kind of stuck with Pokemon too. Is because when you're playing Call of Duty, like you need to kind of have your eyes on the screen all the time, and like trying to like look away for even just a split second to check to look at chat. Like you're going to get killed in that little time period. But that's why I'm grateful I'm not great at Call of Duty. So those games where I'm not having like a good game, I'll be like, you know what? Screw it. I'll look at chat. I'll talk to people while I'm just running around trying to throw a tomahawk at people. Just do fun stuff like that. But no, but you're right. When you're actually like playing a good game and like you really need to focus on the screen the entire time, dude, it is so hard to keep up with chat. And that's why, like it's so important to have great mods too. And like I know we all understand that because we all do have great mods ourselves.
Oh, way to suck
Like
up to
me.
Noctis.
Yes.
And
Listen,
me.
being tFay's best mod isn't easy. I put in the hours. I worked my butt off. People don't understand.
I'm the newest mod for Wally's channel. But I think I do an okay job. I'm not TK level of segues yet though. That man can segue into like any of the commands seamlessly.
On the commands, yes, but you were doing a really good job of keeping track of what pack people pick during the Pokemon card openings.
Okay, well, I'm trying.
Yeah,
Thank goodness he's going to be back on Monday.
Mods,
or on
the job of mods is not to segue into commands. Just going to clarify this. You can do that without being a mod.
That's true.
True, but he's really
Mods
good at it.
whoa, no. You know what? I refute that, tFay. Mods are whatever the streamer want them to be. If Wally wants his mods to constantly drop his TikTok, his Twitter,
Oh
his
my god.
I'm trying to think here because I'm auditioning to be Wally's mod. I can't think of any more. That's why I'm not one of his mods.
YouTube.
Damn it.
Sorry,
he's
you
doing a lot more YouTube than TikTok these days, but you know, I still throw the TikTok out there.
I mean, you can make dumb puns like, you enjoy this comment. Well, you too can pull out great pack. Just watch Wally on YouTube. Dumb puns right there. And then it gets people to watch the YouTube. And then, it's all about
That's our segue.
dumb puns. Dumb puns and segues.
I'm very lucky to have a very punny community of mods.
I mean,
wouldn't you agree that that's the point of a mod though, to do what the streamer wants?
I don't think Marcia would agree, but yes.
I feel like I want to go all Batman on you and be like, it's not so much what the streamer wants, it's what the streamer needs.
Exactly. Okay. Someone here's on my side.
All right.
Because...
No, I legitimately believe this. This isn't me just trying to make a joke, despite the fact that I wanted to make that joke, because when I'm in all of the streams that I'm a mod in, which is a lot despite the fact that I basically do no mod work, I basically just acknowledge what the streamer needs at that kind of given time and just do that. Like, if they actually need someone to be banned, which at least through the times I'm there is very rarely, then I'll ban them. If it's they have no fun commands in the chat, then I'll do that. Like, I've literally, for one streamer, I won't say who, I made emote commands in their chat because I saw their bot was subbed to them. And people who are literally subbed said they like using the commands more than their actual emotes because it's faster.
Huh. That's fun. For a little while, I think Streamlabs was subbed to Wally.
Yeah, I mean, my bot
For
has
a little
like...
bit.
How many... I don't even know how many subs my bot has. My bot has more subs than I do. That's all I know. Just because emote commands are fun.
Yeah. I think so. Like, I think the biggest thing that he was like, it's not what he wants is because I keep track of his swearing, because like early on, when I was first following the channel, he was trying to swear less, just because there's like when you're doing Pokemon cards, there's younger audiences and things like that, because that's a family friendly game. But it became a swear counter that I now harass him with, which is so much fun.
Dang.
So much fun.
Yeah, so fun.
But I gave him the day off today because that was a tough Pokemon match.
Good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
I needed it.
There, Wally, that spoke volumes. But yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite? It's like, this is a two-part question. What would you say is your favorite Pokemon game? And you can be version specific if you prefer. And do you find that you would prefer to stream that game over other ones due to your familiarity with it? Or would you prefer the other way around? Because you don't want to associate your favorite game with streaming, for better or worse.
That is very tough. That is a very good question. The first one is pretty easy for me, just because I loved in this game the whole concept of Mega evolving, and it was the introduction of the Fairy type Pokemon, but it was the Pokemon XY. Specifically, I always got the second title in whatever two games got released, so I ended up going with Y. But no, it was a great game. I really liked the story. the Kalos region was great. The selection of Pokemon was really good. All of the NPCs, like there was, I really didn't have many complaints about it, and I'm still upset that they got rid of Mega Evolution after that one generation. But that's got to be my favorite game to play. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I want to stream it necessarily. Like I enjoyed playing that on my own, not worrying about, like, okay, well, how can I make this interesting for everyone else? It's more, what do I want to do? Like I remember I did one playthrough where I did a whole team of evolutions because you could catch EV on one of the earlier routes. So I just did a team of just straight evolutions, and I went through the game that way, and that was so much fun. And not that people wouldn't necessarily enjoy that on stream, but there wasn't as much pressure, and I think, yeah, those favorite games that you get to play should really kind of be kept off stream. Yeah, you face less pressure. You don't feel like you have to be, I don't know. I just want to get immersed in the game when I'm playing something that I really love. And if I have to, look at chat and, come up with all these other extra rules and stuff, like I don't necessarily get to do that. So I want to keep those, those games like the Pokemon XY just kind of to myself. But I don't know. That's just me though.
The tag log that you joined us on turned out to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it was
For
incredible.
for viewers not familiar, the tag lock is the standard Nuzlocke rule, like challenge rules of a Pokemon game. Only after a couple hours or whatever set time you decide, you send the save file to the next person in line, and they continue it. Usually, we try and keep the details to a minimum, so that you open your Pokemon and you're surprised by what you find. But we did this. How many streamers was it, tFay? Like 10?
8.
8. And it turned out to be pretty great. And I ended up winning. No big deal. I'm just saying, wasn't that hard. They were lucky to have me. I just want to put that out there.
It did spawn an interesting conversation though, because Noctis, for those who didn't follow the tag log, was very underleveled going into his stream, and we were having a discussion before on whether or not he should attempt the league underleveled, because there are two core arguments to be made. You have my side, which is fun is best, and I say, go underleveled and make it exciting. And if you die and lose the run for everyone else, you go out in a blaze of glory and it's entertaining for the chat. And you had other people who were going, well, win the run, like guarantee, do whatever it takes to guarantee that you win the run, because winning the run is more important than the excitingness of it. And I'm paraphrasing. They didn't actually say don't make it exciting, but like they cared more about winning the run than anything else. And if it wasn't on stream, my option wouldn't be an option, right? Your only goal is to win the run when you're just playing it by yourself.
Yeah, I guess we never. Marcia, what was your favorite Pokemon game? We never heard from you.
Oh.
So before we
Oh.
skip over, what's your favorite Pokemon game?
So, and this one, kind of, I guess it was just the right time in my life for it. But like, I kind of, I played Pokemon on my own for a long time. But when I got to high school, I had friends that wanted to play, and that was when like Ruby and Sapphire were out. But when we found out that Emerald was coming out, me and my like 3 friends who all played Pokemon pre-ordered Emerald. And I just loved that game because they added on the Battle Frontier at the end, which was just like chef's kiss. That was so much fun. Because there was all these different challenges and stuff. I was just really into it. And that one's a Game Boy Advance, so I guess I actually could stream that game like without much difficulty. If I don't know, stumbled upon accidentally having it where I could.
I mean, you
capture
can,
it.
it's like any of
it's
the
very
games.
simple. You just need. I was gonna say you just need a Game Boy Advanced add-on to the GameCube. Very simple, and you plug that
I would
into
need
your.
a GameCube
Yeah, streaming Pokemon, for those who don't know, the difficulty isn't inherently within the games themselves. It's that streaming, for most consoles, it's you get a capture card, which is an expense, but not like the worst expense, and it basically works for all your consoles. If you want to stream a DS or a Game Boy Advance or whatever, you need more specific capture cards, which are less easy to obtain.
That comes down to the DS and the 3DS weren't meant to export video from your handheld consoles, as opposed to all the other ones are. That's the challenge that rises. But there are people that make them. They buy old 3DSs and DSs and add the capture card, and then sell them on eBay. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah, they
That's
work.
cool.
Now I'll have to check that out.
You know,
But
it's just.
I think Emerald would be fun though. Like even just to play it regularly, like no extra rules, just play the game. Because I haven't played that in years.
Yeah, so my thing with playing regularly, and this is an argument I have with Noctis, right? Because Noctis is not the biggest fan of randomizers. Just would both either you and or chat not get bored when you know exactly what's going to be in the game at like all times, ignoring speedrunners, because I feel like someone's immediately going to counter me with speedruns is all about knowing the game. All right, ignoring speedruns for normal players.
I have an answer.
All right.
It's on my side, Marcia.
It has been.
If you agree with me, then you can speak. Otherwise, I will mute you, and we will find that argument invalid.
Noctis. So it has been over a decade since I played that game. I would not know what was coming at all because it's been so long. So I feel like I would be playing that with fresh eyes. Now, I don't know if my chat would love it, but you know what? They're just gonna get what they're gonna get sometimes because I'm gonna play what I want to. That's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, it would just be another job, and I already have one of those. I'm here to do what I love.
Ooh, I like it. That sounds like a point for me. I'll take it.
I feel like I'm getting called out here.
Well, you're doing
I'm
what you
easy. I
love. You
stream
just
40
love
hours a
different
week.
things.
So my weird argument for that kind of, and again, I'm the unpopular opinion. I already know that going in, and that if I wasn't taking into account what the viewers wanted to see on terms of what I was playing, I might as well be doing that off stream. Is my personal take. If it was like, all right, I'm going to play, Fortnite. No, I'm not playing Fortnite, but let's just say I want to play Fortnite even if everyone doesn't like me to play Fortnite. I'm going to do it anyway. Why would I not do that in a separate corner with a new Switch account that no one's friend with so I could hide from everybody?
That gets into the idea of why you're streaming. If you're streaming only to make your chat happy, then obviously you should buy every new game when it comes out. You shouldn't play any games you prefer. That's not why a lot of us stream. We're streaming because we have fun playing the game and we hope to put ourselves out there and find other people that enjoy playing, let's say Fortnite, which is a great example because unless you're 13 or a professional getting wins every game, there's no point for you to stream Fortnite.
I love how that's the binary choices. Once you're 14, you're not allowed to stream Fortnite. There's no point. You have to be exactly 13 to stream Fortnite. This is like the old show Kids Next Door.
I have actually kind of, I guess this is about Wally's stream, but so he's a big baseball person, and yeah, most of what he does is like Pokemon or Zelda or Call of Duty, but MLB The Show came out, and that's just like one of his passions. And I've seen like a lot of people that otherwise would have been there for Pokemon, like talking about baseball because he's playing a baseball game. So sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter if it's like what they thought they wanted to watch, but like sometimes the community is still going to be there for it.
And that was a very pleasant surprise too. I'm not gonna lie, because again, yeah, I played baseball in like high school and college and everything like that, and like lately because it's just been Pokemon and everything, like I kind of the whole sports side of me gets neglected. So it was nice to have some people talk about baseball and I'll rattle off some baseball players and they're like, oh yeah, I know that guy, instead of people being like, oh yeah, 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 baseball, gotcha.
It's just like that. It's like, yeah, baseball. Pokemon when it was the
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Wally, I like sports in general, but I cannot care about baseball. I've tried.
I understand. It's an acquired taste. It's one of those things you kind of had to grow up with to really appreciate, and because I know it can be boring. You're sitting there and there's not a lot of action, but that's why a lot of people drink when they're there. They get to enjoy
See,
it.
I would argue that's an important part of like your streamer's mental health. You play games that you really like. You can't just
Yeah.
chase trends, play the popular games. Sometimes you need a game that you really like, and it puts you in a better mood.
Can you imagine Can you imagine if Wally just called out half of our viewing audience who's like drinking and just chilling while listening to the podcast? It's like there's not a lot of action happening on the stream.
How about drinking while on the podcast? Are you calling them out, Wally? Because I need to know for a friend.
It's not.
For a friend.
Absolutely not.
I mean, we're in a lounge, so that's allowed.
Yeah,
Ooh,
can,
I like
can,
it.
can
Lunar
confirm.
Lounge. That's a good point.
Right? And
like it.
Wally's, for anyone just watching the visuals here, Wally's head is covering the on-air sign. So we're not live. No one's watching us.
That's awesome. I love it. So okay, I got a question. Have you guys ever done a shiny hunt? Either of you?
I have not. I have watched shiny hunts, but I am not that much of a masochist.
I can make an argument that if you're playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's not as bad.
That's true.
For those who don't know, so they added two ways to make shiny hunting easier. One is when you get after you kill a certain, like I think it's like 500 is the cap amount of Pokemon, then you can have an increased odds of catching a shiny. And also, if you complete the Pokedex, which despite everyone's complaints on the internet is easier since they limited the amount of Pokemon in the game, you get a shiny charm, which it also increased the odds of getting a shiny. So technically it is easier in Pokemon Sword and Shield, if you're into that.
Isn't it also easier in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu? Isn't there something about how you can chain Pokemon together, and then when they pop up, they're like shiny in like in
yes and no, but yes, if you combo them, that also increases the odds. But if you break your combo, that also resets your counter for how likely it is to get a shiny.
But yeah, that just resets you back to your standard 1 in 8,196, right? So you're back to 0. Who cares? Then you just go back to chaining Pokemon again.
You say that before when you spend 10 hours creating a 500 Bulbasaur combo and then you mess up and you have to start over.
Yeah, but the only shiny hunt I've ever done was I wanted to breed a shiny Rookidee. And it took a while. It took like several thousand eggs, but I got it. And you know what? It was a lot of fun. I don't know if I would stream it, but that would be an interesting thing. But other people stream their shiny hunts, do they not?
Yeah, and honestly, I was kind of hoping Wally or Marcia would be saying they've streamed a shiny hunt, because I honestly, this is not even bashing. I just genuinely want to know how you entertain your chat during a shiny hunt, because at least to me, it is the most repetitive thing in the world, to the point that it might as well be just chatting. I don't know if they just treat it like a just chatting, or it like what gameplay are they reacting to, considering that
every game
for most
every game can be just chatting.
for most, like, for other things, like you have some kind of gameplay to interact with shiny hunting. For the most part, it's you find a bridge and you bike back and forth for hours. And then
So one of the other streamers that's in the tournament that we've been in, the Monotype tournament, his name's It's Slowbro. He was looking for a shiny Absol. Did he finally find that, Wally?
I believe so, and I think it
He
was just
just
shy of
about hit
7,000.
just shy of 7,000
Yeah.
Yeah,
encounters
like no
to
big,
get
no
a,
big.
and he did most, I think most if not all of that on stream. I don't know how he entertains people. I sat there and watched it, but that was more out of like, I don't know, Schadenfreude. I was just there to watch the suffering because he was like 6,000 in and he was very tired.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like if you like, I think if I was to do that, no, I don't want to do that. But if I was to do that, I would make it like this big event spectacle thing where like it would be like, all right, I'm going to do this one time. I'm going to give myself this obscene amount of time to get a shiny, and like do or die. Because I don't think I can be like, all right, every week we're going to spend 4 hours each day hunting for a shiny. Like that
But there's a lot of
hurts my
streamers like
brain.
that. I think Ray Navarez, the guy, he used to be on the Let's Play channel over at Rooster Teeth. When he left, he was one of the first guys I actually watched on Twitch. And like once every third stream, he would just load up Pokemon and try and breed for a shiny. And there, I don't know, there is something kind of fascinating about watching someone do the same action hour after hour after hour. It's a lot, but it was fun, to be honest. Because usually you have chat with you, all talking about getting excited when it actually happens. Every time an egg hatch, like everyone goes quiet because is this the one? Is this the one? Usually not. But when it actually happens, everyone loses their shit because it's like it's your excitement boils over finally in that moment with however many other people are in chat. It's exciting. It feels good, to be honest, to watch them actually get their shiny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually been in a chat for any decent period of time, like committed to a shiny hunt and or been there when they actually got their shiny. So I literally have no idea what the experience. I've seen clips of people pulling a shiny, but it's not really the same thing.
I was in somebody's chat a couple days ago and like they were talking to their child who was off screen when the shiny popped up and everyone was like, "Oh my god, he doesn't know." It was very fun. We clipped it.
How about you, Wally? What would it take to get you to do a shiny hunt?
uh, that's really tough. I guess maybe, gosh, Adderall, something to make it so I can actually like focus on that one little thing for just hours on end. No, but for real, I don't know. Like again, it's one of those things that's for me a little monotonous, and I don't know if I necessarily have my own like little banter I could do myself to kind of, you know, keep everyone entertained during the laggy types of the shiny hunt. So I don't know. Someone would have to come to me with a really good idea and be like, "Hey, you know what? Or hell, you know what? I'll sponsor your shiny hunt. There you go. That's what it'll take right there.
So
Money.
Someone wants to sponsor a shiny hunt, I got you covered."
one thing that has been suggested to me, and I think this is one of the few ways that I could do a shiny hunt and be sane, is to co-stream a shiny race where we're both trying to get like racing to get the same shiny. So at least like you could chat to the other streamer and there's some kind of competitive aspect. Like I could just imagine if I was racing you, Wally, right, and we're trying to get a shiny, and I would totally troll the hell out of you and just get excited over nothing, try to make you think at utter despair that I got the shiny. I'm like, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, and then there's going to be one time where you do get one, you're going to react the same way, and I'd be like, yeah, no, it's not over. I'm not that stupid.
Or if one of us gets the shiny and accidentally kills it or runs away,
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
I don't know if anyone's seen this. Very popular Pokemon streamer Small Ant did a shiny only run of what was it? I want to say it was Heart Gold or something like one of the early gens, where literally every Pokemon that he used, including the starter, had to be shiny. Which means just to start the game, he has to get a shiny starter, just to keep in mind. And there was this one time where he was rolling on the static Pokemon, I think it was an Electrode, and he kept going on and on. I think it was like over 10 hours in, and then he finally got the shiny Electrode, and he was talking to chat and wasn't paying attention, and so he just killed it. And the chat blew up, and so he had to get the shiny Electrode all over again.
Oh man.
Oh, my heart.
That's
That would
so
be the
rough.
worst.
But like, I feel like if I was to co-stream with someone, it'd be bearable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would need at least somebody to talk to.
So shiny hunt tFay co-stream win.
When
Asking for a
someone
friend.
when someone wants to do it with me and we arrange it, and literally I'm happy to do that with any of you guys. If you guys are like us, like Noctis, if you want to say, hey, let's pop up our Pokemon, Sword and Shield, because we're using legal copies of Pokemon to stream, right? And we're gonna go ahead and like hunt for a shiny Wooloo, just for trivia's sake. You can't get shiny starters in that game without breeding. So if we
Yeah.
wanted to race for a shiny Wooloo, like that could be entertaining.
I have a shiny Wooloo. It was given to me by Stormy, one of the other mods on Wally's channel. It's my black sheep.
Did Stormy get it
cute.
through the event? Because I know there was an event recently with like a increased rate of getting.
No. Stormy is
Uh,
a shiny collector. She
She
has
has
more
all
patience
of
than
her
we do.
shinies. Or they, yes.
They
They
even
have
have a shiny Lugia.
She does. She calls it it's a strawberry, right? I hope
Strawberry,
I'm
yeah. Strawberry.
Strawberry is Wally's nightmare.
Look, I learned how to take it out, okay? It just doesn't happen all the time.
so all right.
correct.
Now, Noctis, let's say hypothetically, and I guess this goes for anyone. If you were to do a shiny hunt again, let's just say Pokemon Sword and Shield, keeping it legal, right? Would you use a shiny charm just to make both your lives easier, or would you want to go like fresh account, so
No,
like
I'm
just a
definitely
maximum
going shiny
suffering?
charm. No, of course you make it as while getting a shiny isn't impossible, it does take quite a bit of time, and the shiny charm doesn't provide it overnight. You could have a shiny charm and still hunt for it for a while before getting it. Yeah, definitely getting a shiny charm. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, just go,
Crazy?
so well then a requirement for anyone to do a shiny co-stream like that is to have a shiny charm. Just to clear, because not everyone might have a shiny charm. I don't know. Maybe Wally
I don't
wants
have
to.
the shiny charm. I don't have a complete Pokedex yet.
Oh, well, what the hell? I was gonna say, lucky for you, I have both Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I have one version with a shiny charm in it, and I could easily restart the other game to go like a non-shiny charm.
No, but
run.
like when we got Pokemon Sword and Shield, me and Vixen, because we're married, we often like to buy. We each buy a copy of the different version of the game, right?
Makes
So
sense.
we were playing it, and she completed her decks before me because I was working different hours, and I was distracted by Breath of the Wild.
You can just say that
To
she's
be
better
honest.
than you. That's also fair.
Well, if she's listening, she can read through the lines. Yes, Vixen, you are better than me. But the point, like, I was trying to complete my decks when she bought us each a copy of Pokemon, or not Pokemon, but Stardew Valley. And said she wanted to play it together. I said no, not until I complete the decks. Unfortunately, before I completed the decks, we started playing Stardew Valley. Next thing you know, I did not give a shit about Pokemon until on stream I decided to do a run of Pokemon right before the DLC came out. I reset my game because I'm not smart and I just played a version of hers on my account. Why would I do that? Nope. Reset my game to get to the DLC, and now that's where my Pokedex is sitting at. It's whatever Pokemon I had after beating both DLCs. Right?
Well, if anyone, shiny charm or not, wants to hit me up for a shiny getting competition, That's about one of my only ways I'm actually willing to do that, because I also, just a disclaimer, I don't have the DLC. I'm not doing the domain runs to get your shiny legendaries or whatever. Like, nope.
The Dynamax raids.
See, I care that little about the DLC. I saw the Diglett issue in the Isle of Armor, and I'm like, I officially do not care about Pokemon DLC anymore.
See, I really liked the Diglett thing, but that's just because I think as a child I had a lot of like I Spy books and stuff. So that's just my jam. I'm like, yeah, let's find them all.
I mean, I feel
So.
like it's one thing if you're looking at a static image trying to find 100 Diglets, and a vast different thing to run around a giant area looking
I'm
for
doing it for
tiny things.
I'm doing it for the third time now because I completed mine on the file that I lost, and I helped complete my husband's because we do the same thing Noctis was saying, where we each buy one of the games. But like, I think that the Diglets irritated him too much, so I went and found all the Diglets because I liked it.
Well,
And now I'm doing it a third time.
good on you. Bigger patience than I do. And I talked to Wally. What?
That's fair.
You're so mean.
I'm amazed you didn't say my name, to be honest.
Dealing with Noctis is beyond patience.
There it is.
So now, what are your thoughts like possibly doing a Pokemon speed run? I don't know if you've ever tried that, which is kind of, I'm asking sort of on the implication of similar to what we talked before of being able to talk to chat, right? Because if you're doing a speed run where you literally are like seconds are important, right? Frames are important, and then you suddenly get ready like, shut up, don't make me go away, I'm ignoring all of you.
I feel like a speed run, you would have to have a co-host that was running your chat for you. Like, that just seems like a better idea. But
True.
I have a relative who well, sort of my husband's cousin has done some speed runs of like the older games, but I don't think I could do that. I have really bad ADHD, and I will like, my Pokemon character will be dissociating with me and we're both staring at a wall. So
Like,
yeah.
I used to watch, this is before I got more into more seriously into Twitch, and where I basically exclusively watch people from the community now. I used to watch Pulse Effects, who, friend does not know, is a one of the world's top Pokemon speedrunners, and he was trying to get the record for Pokemon Fire Red, which he ended up doing. But it got to the point, like, literally you would have entire streams where he wouldn't leave the laboratory because he'd refuse to leave if he did not get a certain set of IVs on his Squirtle, which is just unreal. Can you imagine doing an entire speedrun stream where each run lasts less than 5 minutes? And you do that for the entire stream?
An Ironmon. Like, Ironmon is it's a mod, we'll call it, for whatever game you want, where it's just a whole lot harder. A lot of times you don't even make it outside of the battle with your rival. You don't, because when you start with a level 5 Pokemon, but everyone you face is 1.5 times your level. So your rival starts with like a level 8. A lot of times you don't even make it out of the laboratory.
Is that what I did? For those who missed it, my very first Pokemon randomizer Nuzlocke, it was in Heart Gold. And I didn't really know about setting these things up at the time. And I ended up, I think it was I downloaded an Iron Mod setting. And so the first gym leader had a level 21 Palkia. And let's just say that my run did not last past the first gym.
Because Brock, he has a level 12 Pokemon and a level 14 Pokemon. So 1.5 times 14, tFay, you're the math teacher. Tell us, is that level 21?
Yeah, it is.
Ouch.
Good luck with that.
But yeah, no, I like speedruns is definitely one of those things that I always found very interesting because it's like I generally, for a lot of games, get bored of it when I have it, like, I know the game that in depth, but speedrunning kind of justifies it in a sense. So it's like, oh, well, you're getting so good at the game, actually put some challenge into it. Which I just find kind of interesting, because I get bored of a lot of Pokemon games playing, like, I don't think I could play any Pokemon game naturally anymore. Like, no special rules, no modification, like, just pick up a Pokemon game and just play it like normally. I'm like, it's easy.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I am like, this is not a.
I like regular old Pokemon.
Some people definitely can. Marcia said she can, she doesn't even remember Pokemon Emerald, so can go into like fresh. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I just did memorize too much.
So, well, and like I've played more recently Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but like they changed enough stuff in that story that like I still feel like going back to the old game it'd be like playing a fresh game.
See, I guess the real question is, like, how much do you remember of a game when you're going into it? Because, like, even if, like, when I play a game and enjoy it well enough, I literally memorize everything. So, like, when I go, if I'm going back to, like, an old Pokemon game, I know, like, enough the fact that it's trivial in terms of difficulty in order to win. Like, I know exactly what the gyms are and what Pokemon they have and what I can get where and what I need to, like, to beat it and stuff like that. And obviously you're not really, unless you're playing Pokemon Black, #best story, you can't, like, there isn't really too much new or challenging that isn't just like going through the motions kind of thing. If that makes any sense.
All right. So you remember all of Pokemon Red and Blue then, tFay? I gotta ask this. Could you name all 8 badges for me? I'm just curious.
Name all 8 badges?
Yes, name the 8 badges.
Probably not. Like, I could try.
My point there is, if you like, that seems like an important note to remember.
No, because
you can't remember that.
You don't have to know the names of the badges.
How do you claim that you know what the Pokemon games are gonna be like?
Because I know exactly what the Pokemon types are. I'm saying in terms of beating the game. Like, it's not like I have every item memorized. What store has, like, this item, this item, this item, these prices. Saying I know
I'm
enough
not asking
that
that. I'm asking the 8 badges. Can you name all 8 gym leaders?
I can give you the gym leaders and their types. Yes, I don't know the names of the badges.
I'm just saying, it seems like something you would remember if you're that familiar with the games. I think that's why so many people play them normally, because it's still fun to watch someone, especially like, let's say, Wally or Marcia over here, who aren't speaking up for some reason as we yell at each other.
This is just entertaining. I love this.
Let's say, like, they haven't played Gen 4, for example. I've never played Gen 4. It would be new for me, and I think chat would enjoy joining me.
No. If you haven't played it, that's not my argument.
Okay, well, I've played Gen 3. I literally could not name any of the gym leaders from Gen 3. Or Gen 5, which is my favorite generation.
What the Pokemon are? I don't care if you know what the gym leader's name on is not important. It
is, because you said that's the important part.
No, beating the game is the important part.
Go in there.
I know the gym. Even if I don't know that Morty's name is Morty from Gen 2, I know he's a ghost Pokemon and I know how to beat ghost Pokemon. I don't have to know his name or the name of the badge in order to beat him.
But then that's the problem. Then your problem extends to Pokemon in general, not just playing a game on new. A randomizer doesn't suddenly fix the fact that ghost-type Pokemon cannot be hit by normal or fighting-type moves.
But
that's every game.
Yes, the problem is you can't plan for it. So my general problem with this is a lot of RPGs in general, is when it is very turn-based RPGs, right, where you have everything is based off stats and levels, you can plan out and determine if you're going to win before you go into it. It's like grinding for the league. It's like, all right, I know the league has these levels, and I know they're gonna be this Pokemon with the strongest Pokemon. Like, let's say first gen is going to be a Dragonite with Lance, and I know if I have these Pokemon, I'm going to win. Like, I don't like going in knowing to win.
An add-on.
Okay, go ahead, Marcia.
I have an add-on there, because I can kind of see what tFay's saying. So, like, I'm a huge Stardew Valley person.
Whoa, you're agreeing with tFay? Never mind. Sorry.
just a
Wally,
tiny little bit.
Well, Noctis, what I have to say is, okay, go ahead,
So-
Marcia.
Go ahead,
So
Marcia.
I recently finally convinced Wally to get Stardew Valley so I could show him what the
Yay.
game is like. But like I realized in trying to tell him what was going on, like my brain's already on, we need these things for the bundles. He doesn't even know what a freaking bundle is yet.
Exactly.
And I've like already planned out our whole spring. So like I can see like having something different in some games could definitely like improve things. Like I definitely randomize the bundles when I'm replaying.
Oh
now.
my gosh, yes. It's like that's like the
okay.
best feature.
So, Marcia, when was
Right.
the last time you played Stardew, and how many times have you played Stardew? That's my point.
That's a little
like,
lot.
do you know how long it's been since I've played Pokemon Sapphire?
Well, I'm
Like,
not.
I played
I'm not
Alpha
saying
Sapphire.
about
I couldn't tell you
Pokemon,
the
though,
Elite Four
Noctis.
from Gen 3.
Noctis, I wasn't saying it about Pokemon though, because Pokemon, you're always going to have a little bit different. You could, and you don't have to make a whole different set of rules. You could just be like, okay, I usually get the grass type. I'm gonna get the fire type this time. Bam! You changed your whole game because you're gonna have different strategies based around protecting your starter. You know. So I feel like there's a lot more wiggle room with Pokemon. And I have a terrible memory, so if I go back to anything, it's
No,
So-
that was our argument. That tFay's argument is that if you know what the Elite Four is, you can go into it. But my point is, for Pokemon Red, yes, I know the Elite Four by heart. But Gen 3, which was one of my favorites, and Gen 5, my favorite gen, I could not tell you the Elite Four for Gen 5. I would build my team around trying to be ready for anything that came at me, and I would have to go into the Elite Four blind because I don't know what they are.
See, but that's good for you. But for most people, they know what they're up against.
All right, Marcia, Marcia, Wally, we're doing the Elite Four test. All right, Gen 1.
okay. One of my favorites, Lorelei.
Ooh,
I
the
love
ice type.
Lorelei.
Yes.
She has the hot librarian energy.
That I will agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we can all agree on
Agatha?
that.
That's what the podcast agrees on. Lorelei's on.
It's that Lorelei's the best, right? But yeah, there's Lorelei, Bruno, Agatha, and
Lance.
just Lance, and then you fight
Yeah.
Blue
Blue.
or Gary,
Gary.
it-
yeah.
depending on which
Yes,
version. you're
I think we all named him something like that. That's fair.
on. Rude name.
I'm pretty
Just
sure I
instantly
named my
rude.
starter trainer Lugia, and I named the rival starter Wally. That's definitely the names
you
for
want
my
to lose?
playthrough.
That's how you lose.
You know, if we wouldn't have done the randomizer, I wouldn't have had to kill Lugia. So
So basically, all right.
Randomizers. Here we go.
You
So
wouldn't have had Lugia.
we have a
so-
great meme because of randomizers.
So
True.
one good thing to come out of randomizers. Okay, cool. How long has Pokemon been out? Since 95 in Japan, 96 in the US?
All
Cool.
right, hold on. All right, we knew it was always going to come down to this as soon as we knew that we were going to talk about Pokemon. All right, and let's ask Wally and Marcia first because I'm sure that people have heard me and Noctis argue about this so many times. Are you guys pro or against randomizers on average?
For myself, I probably won't play one, but I think it's fun to watch. So
Okay, how about you,
I
Wally?
would play one. I've actually been thinking about it since we did the tag lock, just for the heck of it. You're kind of doing something with like Leaf Green like that, but obviously a different randomizer. But I've been thinking about it. It won't take too much to convince me, but possibly down the line.
Okay, so we'll ask the second part of that question. Do you think a randomizer makes the game easier? I'm curious for each of you guys.
It could, but again, it's random, so you've just got to trust in the heart of the cards there.
I mean, theoretically, yes. I only say that because, okay, like for instance, TK1904, who's one of who's the streams as well as one of my mods and everything. He actually did a Pokemon Yellow randomizer and has been posting it on YouTube. And his starter Pokemon was Mewtwo. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's going to be a little easier instead of a Bulbasaur going into a Venusaur, you have a Mewtwo for the entire game. But at the same time, you're right. If the cards fall the other way and you end up getting a Weedle and your rival ends up getting the Mewtwo, like, yeah, no, that's going to be a lot more difficult.
It definitely adds an element of surprise.
Yeah.
And suddenly we have people doing the math on the statistics and getting a good Pokemon versus a bad Pokemon on your starter. If we're going to define that as doesn't make your run easier.
Yeah, but it's not just your starter. It's every Pokemon you encounter along the way. Lance is a lot fucking easier when he doesn't have 3 Dragonites. He has a Magikarp, a Lopunny, and a couple of other easy Pokemon. It changes the game, unbelievably.
And I can argue that if I know he has 3 Dragonites, I just pick up a Lapras that they give to you for free.
You know that Lance is the trainer. Let's say you're doing a randomizer of Gen 5. Do you know the Elite Four of Gen 5, tFay? You do not. I'm going to answer that because your computer couldn't run Gen 5. I'm just kidding. I know you're me and tFay tried to do a co-stream where we raced in a randomized version of Pokemon Black/White, and he save files was not working for one of us. But that's my point. You can't just go into Pokemon Black and White and say, I know what the Elite Four has. If you look it up, then yes, you do, but not off the top of your head. Like, each gym leader, they give you that advantage, but the Elite Four and the champion, they do not. You don't know what you're facing until you're in there. And when you do a randomizer, you're taking the challenge out of the Elite Four and the champion. The champion no longer has the best, most balanced team that they're going to give to a CPU.
Okay, first of all,
you got a Magby. Oh, wow. Shocker. That's hard
all right, first, you want to say best? Sure, through Dragonites being the best. Sure, you want to say balance? That is a completely different argument. I will definitely argue that having all of one type is by definition not balanced.
That's just the Elite Four, not the champion.
I'm just saying. Also, you can turn on a feature of randomizers that every Pokemon past a certain level is fully evolved. So every trainer in the League 4 will basically be the equivalent of the champion.
But did you? No, you didn't. No one does. Because you go into the Elite Four, and you know what's really funny? Watching Lance say, go Lugia. You beat the Lugia. Go Elekid. Now you have to beat an Elekid. Oh, that's really hard. Oh, go Smoochum. Because random means you're going to get one out of however many Pokemon there are. And a lot of Pokemon out there are not strong. Go Jigglypuff. Yeah.
And at least for me, I would rather have the potential. I would rather sacrifice the potential of a harder challenge not knowing what I'm going to face and actually have it. If it's easier, at least I didn't know going in, rather than know that I'm going to win going into the battle.
So I just had a thought as you're saying that, like, that's 100% why I like opening packs of Pokemon cards instead of just getting what I like, specific one I want.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect example.
Trading card does not count. Marcia, we've went over this. If you do not agree with my points, I will have to mute you. Please don't.
I'm just saying that there's room for both things.
There definitely is. I've done randomizers. I don't know why.
All right, yeah, no one's even me and Noctis are not saying one or the other is absolutely true, but we're gonna argue about it. I mean,
But,
are we
yeah.
going to say that, who is the better mod, Wally or Marcia? It's obviously Marcia, all right? But we're still going to, no, we're not going to discuss it. Marcia's obviously the better mod. Wally's just
I'm
like sitting there
amazed.
nodding his head.
Mod?
Yeah, is Wally a mod?
He's a mod on my channel, but he never shows up for work.
I
See?
Oh, shit. Shots fired.
You
Oh,
complained. You
Whatever,
complained
it's
that
fine.
Stormy and tFay were mods and you weren't. So
Yeah,
I made you a
well-
mod, and
well,
you
shit,
literally
you
haven't
shoulda-
showed up to do that.
Well, you should have told. You didn't tell me that you actually did it. I just complained.
I did. I told you.
well.
I was like, well, guess what? You are now.
But did you
Well-
send him, his WD-40 or something like that, to, like, make sure he signs up for his taxes forms and all that stuff?
Yeah, I better
No.
get a. I better get a 1099 from you. Give me
Nah,
a. Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I.
pay my mods. You'll do it for the
Well, Yeah, no, I don't have a comeback to that, but because I don't pay you, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, wait, no, that wouldn't work out in my favor. I was gonna say, oh, what if we paid each other the same? But no, I know I stream more than you do because you're
Exactly.
you're a teacher and you have, a more stressful and important job.
I have less free time.
Yes,
That's all it is.
Lazy bum. You're spending all summer doing nothing. I'm
No,
sure that's what
Oh my
everybody's
god!
doing.
All right, don't trigger me. All right, that's like I've had so many. It's like for teachers, that's like one of our a universal trigger. All right, when they hear
You heard my
you
voice
don't
went
do
up a freaking
something,
octave.
you don't do anything in the summer, your job is easy. And every
I knew
teacher
exactly
wants
what
to
would
punch-
trigger.
and every teacher suddenly
tFay.
wants to punch Wally in the face.
Thank
Nah,
God, not me. I'm not the one that said it.
I do intend to stream more now that summer's right around the corner. I'm gonna give myself a tiny break next week, but by the end of next week, I'm hoping to have like a real schedule again. Because it wasn't super sustainable for me for a while there to work, about 9 hours, come home and then work another few. I couldn't do that every day, but now I'll
that-
only have
yeah.
one job during the summer, so that'll be good. It'll be
So,
streaming.
tFay, the question for you is, do we want to formally announce we're no longer going to be talking about prepared questions and go to our free-for-all and open questions to the chat?
I mean, I think the free-for-all started as soon as I hit start recording with this particular episode. But yeah, if anyone,
this episode, yeah, that's right.
if anyone in the chat wants to, in the live chat, has any questions for either us, Wally, Marcia, if you have a controversial topic like you know that you want to bring up for us to discuss,
Like randomizers or teachers being lazy in the summertime, take your pick.
I earned my
so
laziness.
while we wait for live chat to catch
You did,
up,
Marcia, entirely.
here's just an interesting pseudo-controversial topic where, Pokemon, I guess it's a bit stranger considering, especially with the current state of the TCG. Is Pokemon, let's just say TCG to be more specific, is that being designed these days for adults or for kids? Now, hear me out, right? And you get a bit more extreme on this, but if you look at the rules, at least me as a kid, none of us knew how to play Pokemon. Because especially if you look at Pokemon now, it is a pretty complicated game. To the point that I remember the first and last time I watched Pokemon TCG World Championships, I watched the most ridiculous thing between a giant 40-plus-year-old man facing off against a tiny child, and just watching the guy just raffle stop him beyond all reason. I was like, what is this? He's like, oh yeah, I play my Gardevoir, which does this. I was like, again, I still don't know the rules, but
So, I have an answer for you there, just because nature of the thing is I'm a teacher and I like Pokemon, so that's like number one thing that kids latch onto, because they'll see my lanyard that my badge is on is a Pokemon lanyard. So they're like, oh, you like Pokemon? That's all I'm going to talk to you about for 6 months.
Can we ask what Pokemon are on the lanyard? I'm asking for a friend.
It is the one I have right now is like the original starters and Pikachu. So Charmander,
that's not bad.
Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Pikachu.
Yes, the non-controversial picks to
And
universally
then
get
I
people
also
to
have
like it.
one with the Alolan starters that I
Less,
was
more
using.
controversial.
That's
But
very
you know that
controversial.
round owl is pretty cute. So
And that's where
Hickson's favorite grass starter.
that's the only reason why it's controversial and not just bad.
so the but the thing is, like, a lot of kids get the cards as, like, you know, this is like card collecting. They are not playing the game. They're buying a booster pack. They don't have enough to build a full deck. And if they do think that they're battling, they're just comparing cards. But I do make a point every year. The kids that are really interested in learning how to play, I have the TCG online on my personal laptop and on a tablet. Or not on a tablet anymore, but anyway, I'll let them play that like during lunch or something so that they can see how the rules really work. It's not that hard to learn the rules. It's just hard to learn if there's no one to teach you. And I think that's the biggest thing is, like, unless you have a local league and parents willing to drive you there, it's the online game or nothing, man.
So
And that,
no, Wally,
Sorry.
you go first.
I was just gonna, and that's why, like, back in the day, and I guess that's what the trading card game online is now. But the old, what was it for Game Boy Color? The Pokemon trading card game video game.
Oh, I loved that game.
I love that game too. That was one of my favorite games to play. And it's one of those games that, like, my best friend and I still, like, talk about now. But, like, that helped, like, teach me so much, because you're right. I was trying to learn on my own, reading the rules and all that, but until you actually hop in and play with someone who, you know, is going to tell you what you can and can't do, like, you don't necessarily know all the rules. That's why there's so many different variations of games like Uno, or, you know, things like that, where it's like people don't read all the rules and they want to, you know, put their little rules in too. And
homebrew it.
yeah, exactly.
So
But I do think it is a little more geared towards adults, or more of a, I should say, a complex mind, just because of all the additional rules, and, like, the tag team that got introduced, the mega evolutions from XY, the GX moves, the V moves, the V Max. Like, there's so much to think about now, and so many extra rules that, like, if you don't immerse yourself in it, like,
yeah,
good luck learning.
that was sort of my follow-up point, right? So, like, the rules themselves, basic, easy to teach kids, great, right? Now let's ignore the fact that a lot of the times, if you're not able to spend a ton of money on collecting cards, it's impossible to build any kind of remotely competitive physical deck that you can go to a tournament and have fun. Let's ignore that for a second. There are so many rules that are not in the basic rule book, as Wally said, between all the different types of cards, their interactions, and all that stuff, that for a lot of TCGs, not even just Pokemon, don't get me started on Yu-Gi-Oh!, that they basically have made the game complex, that I would argue it's an adult game where the thematic is for children, but the way the games themselves are actually structured is more targeting adults, because the adults want that more complex competitive gameplay to make it more interesting.
Now, I'm going to come in with a rebuttal there, because I was part of a local Pokemon League for a couple of years when I was living, like, in an apartment. We were right by a card shop that had every Tuesday night. They would have Pokemon League. And I would say we were, like, my husband and I, my now husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, we were like 2 of maybe 4 adults that would show up. Like, all the rest was kids. And they were really good at it. Like, they could hold their own against us because they would put in the time and the research, and they were really obsessed with Pokemon. It's just a matter of, like, having a parent to take you to a league so that you can learn how to be good. It's just like if you were in sports, you can play, you know, basketball with a hoop in your driveway, and you're not going to learn as well as you would learn on a team.
No. So I agree. I'm agreeing with your point in terms of the learning. My question is the way the game, like, how do you, what is your thoughts on, like, the basic power creep and complexity of the game that is so complex.
think
It's
it's gotten
very hard to
easier.
get. Really, you think it's easier?
Okay, there was like some rules that were very complicated, at least around like when we were in XY, Roaring Skies, there was a lot of like mill decks going around where you like basically ran through your whole deck in your first turn, and like the other person's just sitting there watching you like deck out basically, and that was very complicated for kids. Now I feel like there's a little bit more offensive based decks that are in the meta, so I feel like it changes every time they, rotate sets out. But right now, I feel like it's pretty good. Oh,
Okay, and for anyone who doesn't understand some of the terminology here.
Sorry.
So, meta, let's go over that, is that because that's the most core term used for any kind of competitive game. Meta generally refers to the universally, I say loosely, agreed upon strategies on the best way to play. So you can make just simple example. If you're going to play Monopoly, the meta is always buy whatever properties you can as fast as possible. It does not matter what they are, right? And then it's like, so that's the meta, right? Now, first, Monopoly is basically always Monopoly until you buy some weird fancy version. But for trading card games, the meta will change because you introduce new cards, which allow new abilities and strategies and stuff like that.
And rotate out the old as well, which changes it up as well. Because like you might have like a lot of strategies that depend on a certain trainer card, and once that trainer card's been rotated out, everybody got to learn something new. So I kind of like it.
Unless you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And not technically the topic,
No,
but Yu-Gi-Oh! Does not
fair.
rotate cards, which,
We're not
oh
going there.
my gosh.
No. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a game of skill.
I could. There's a weird argument there for a lot of TCGs where skill in playing versus skill in building the deck, right? Where some games are about skill and you have your deck and it's all about executing and whatever, versus other games like, let's say Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll speak very briefly on. I feel like the skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes more from building the deck, assuming you're not just looking online and looking up meta decks. Because considering that whenever you add more cards to the pool, all that does is just increase the amount of options you have. And
yeah,
so there's an actual real skill to that. With something with a like more normal TCGs, when you rotate out cards, you have a set amount of options to do. So there's not as many options. There isn't as much skill in building the deck, and there's a lot more skill in playing the deck. Jeez, I cannot talk. Live chat, one sec. What do you mean living card games versus TCGs, if you don't mind clarifying? Marcia, respond.
No, I was gonna say, like, Tim, I thought the way modern TCGs was explained to me, because I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Before
It got complicated?
GX came out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Before GX came out. Like, so
But
that's how long ago Yu-Gi-Oh! Was for me. Like, the way modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And modern TCGs is, you have a certain like set of cards you need to win. So most of the time, it's whoever draws the most cards they're the faster to get to that like set winning strategy.
So that's drawing cards is the most basic way a game will be broken or unfun. Is basically how easily can one type of deck draw cards versus the other.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about with like when we were back in XY series. There was a card, and honestly, if you tried to buy the card by itself, it was about $60-$70 just for the one Shaman EX. But if you had that Shaman EX, you could do anything. You could run through your whole deck till you find the right card. It was a beautiful strategy. But you had to have like 4 of them for a decently competitive deck, and then you're running, over $200 and you haven't even built the rest of the deck.
I played Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 3 cards. I played Pot of Greed,
That's
which also
literally
lets me draw 3
all right. First of all, it makes you draw 2 cards. All right. Second of all, that card's like one of the most banned cards in the game. But question from the chat.
Yeah, I know it's fan. All right, I'm referencing a meme. Damn it! All right.
Question from the chat,
I
which
know
is
it draws
actually
two cards.
an interesting counterpoint to what we're discussing right now. How do you feel about live LCGs, which are based living card games, where basically the idea of purchasing booster packs to get certain cards in a set is actually removed, and you literally just buy the whole set, and so everyone has exactly the same cards, no matter what, right? So basically, it's
You
just
just have
all
to do
it's
deck
all about
building?
it's all about deck building and execution at that point.
Huh.
Hmm.
That
I
sounds like a
think-
fun challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would actually be, man, that's so tough. That would be fun though. In a way that's kind of like, I
So-
don't know. One of them's, hey, how much money do you have to be able to buy these cards? And the other one's like, hey, how much skill do you have to be able to build the best deck?
Yeah, so my initial
That sounds
thoughts
like
on
Magic
this.
the Gathering. Is
Magic
how
the
much
Gath-
money do you have?
Yeah, well, that's every TCG. That's not every TCG by nature is how much money do you have, because you might need certain. Almost always, the best decks require expensive cards. That's why the cards are expensive. Now, my argument against LCG living card, where you have all the cards, and keep in mind, I have not played one before. For anyone listening, take that with a grain of salt as I give my point, and that the game better be stupidly well balanced, because internet exists, and this is sort of the problem a lot of people have with a lot of TCGs that aren't as complex as Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering has this weird anomaly where the game's so complex, it sort of avoids
Yeah,
this issue.
It's special. It's special. We're not going
Where
to discuss that.
you can look up what the best decks are, and then and remove the deck building aspect. So if you're having if you have a set of everyone has exactly the set cards. If there is a best deck, the game's done. Like, it's boring as hell. Now the reason why people like TCGs is you're trying to make the best deck with a limited card pool, which ironically is countered by people throwing money at the wall. Which is why I don't like playing TCGs anymore.
Yeah. I like the collecting aspect a lot with TCGs. And I do like playing the game, but I also have been collecting for a really long time. So, I mean, for like, if I'm online, if I play the online game, you can play the expanded, which pretty much every card that's ever been printed is available. Like, you can make a deck with something that came out during base set and something that came out during black and white, and like have these insane decks. And there's only a few cards they've really banned because they're broken, um but I also know, like, if you were coming into that fresh, that wouldn't be a fun thing to be a part of at all.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if you have like things where you have access to all the cards is definitely like great. But again, it really is a newcomer versus veteran kind of thing. I mean, if you were playing, like, let's say Magic the Gathering Online, which is a very popular online game, right? Where you can play
Mhm.
access a whole lot of decks and all those cards. If you're a new player and you go into that and you say, oh, all right, here's 200 packs. And you go, great. And then you look at these cards and you're like, okay, there's like 10 like keywords here, and I don't know what it's like. I don't know where to start. Like, oh, here's mana. Oh, why does the mana have 15 keywords? And it's like, oh gosh.
yeah, and those keywords are an interesting thing that Magic has that I don't really I feel like they don't do as well in other card games. Just like those key actions and stuff that make the whole rule set more complicated but simplified.
I mean, it's
I don't know.
basically we want to take a lot of text, but not be Yu-Gi-Oh! Or a lot of fancy Pokemon cards and just fill up the card with text. So introduce keywords that if you don't know, you can just look it up and it shortens what the card is, like what's on the
Yeah.
card. So one thing that I like about a lot of old Pokemon cards and a lot of Magic the Gathering cards is that they simplify visually what you're looking at when you're looking at the card, which is very nice. Again, I know there's certain Pokemon And there's certain Magic the Gathering cards that have 8 paragraphs of text because they do like 15 things. I'm ignoring those. They're outliers. Get your rare cards out of my face.
Yeah. I agree. I think that honestly, like to kind of circle back to that original question, I think that there's definitely a place for younger players. It's just something that's gonna take a little bit more practice. They're gonna have to have people to play against and stuff like that, whether it's online or in person. It just doesn't, it's not a game you're gonna learn on your own.
Poor Noctis.
Are we still talking about video games? I fell asleep there.
You get the trading card game online, I'll play with you because I do play.
I have a lot of I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm not gonna spend it learning how to play a trading card game.
Okay.
I'll throw that shade out there. Like,
All
I
right.
have so many things I'd rather do.
I mean, that's just sort of, I guess, one of my points. Like, a lot of other types of video games, even let's just say Pokemon games, like not the TCG, the actual Pokemon games, right? New Pokemon game comes out, ignoring the Legend of Arceus, which is kind of breaking my point, that you generally know how to play going in, right? So even if you don't have time to learn, if you're not like, I don't have time to learn how to play the Pokemon TCG, if I say, well, here's a new Pokemon game, you go, oh, well, I definitely have time to learn how to play a new Pokemon game. There's about like 2 new rules. It's just learn what types they added and attacks and all that stuff.
And Dynamaxing this time.
And that, whatever the new mechanic is, but it's usually very quick. And I think it's kind of, I guess you could say, ironic how different it is to learn the video games versus the TCG, given that they're both
The video games
Pokemon.
are fun.
All right, well, I'm not going to start arguing fun because then I'm going to start triggering everyone in the comments.
Comments or Wally and Marcia?
Either or.
I mean, I might throw hands, but I'm far away from y'all.
Before you throw hands, let me say my most controversial thing yet that you guys will love. When I seen Pokemon TCG, the Game Boy game, I could not help but think, who the hell is this for? If you want to play the trading card game, go play it. Why on earth would you want to play a video game version of the trading card game? I can
answer your question.
Whoa, yeah, I can easily answer that too. But Marcia, you go ahead. Let's see if we have the same answer.
I can answer your question. That game cost a set amount of money, and I got all the cards in it. If I wanted to play real,
then why not just play the Pokemon game? Why not
because
play a better version?
People want. All right, so people. First of all, my response was give people without friends. That's who. That's who a game was made for.
You don't need friends to play the original version. Shut up.
No. For the TCG, Noctis, the TCG. You're saying who's the TCG video game made for? That game was made for people without friends, so they could play the TCG
and
by themselves.
Okay, then I'll throw even more shade. Maybe you'd have more friends if you wanted to play the actual games instead of the TCG on the Game Boy.
No, I wouldn't have. All right, some people, cough, cough, definitely not me, lived in very secluded states like Wyoming, where you do not have friends no matter how popular a game you're playing.
All right.
Listen, I was born in Wyoming. The state has at least 10 people, all right? If you both have Game Boys, then you wish for Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow for your birthday. You don't go for the TCG, the Game Boy game. That's so boring.
Well, let me put it to you this way though, because I mean, not that you play like World of Warcraft or anything like that, but it's the same thing. That's like saying, oh, well, why would you go play Hearthstone when you could just go play World of Warcraft?
I would argue that too.
Okay, well, that's fair then. But right. Regardless, like that's just like it's just a different. It's the same game, different vehicle.
Now
so it makes it a little different.
Right. I want to piss off people in the chat because everyone else is doing it. All right. I'm gonna say that playing Mega Man Battle Network is 1,000 times better than playing actual Mega Man. All right. Now come at me, everybody.
Oh no, Wally.
Oh shit! That look had a lot of subtext there.
Look, I will live and die on this hill forever. Mega Man X, I don't care what version or type of game, Mega Man game that you could ever come up with. Mega Man X is always going to be the best Mega Man game, period. I don't care what they
Wow.
come out with, what they have come out with in the past, nothing is going to beat that game.
I will
never played a
actually
Mega
agree
Man
that
game.
Mega Man X is pretty damn great. And I've watched Eagle Raptor do his review in that game so many times.
Never played Mega Man.
Hashtag running on card. But so my general thing is kind of relating to our discussion on Pokemon in that and live chat's asking about Mega Man Zero, which is literally about to be my point, that those games are so hard to get into if you have not if you do not have a background in playing those games or huge learning curve, right? And things like Mega Man Battle Network is a nice middle ground that you can ease into it and you don't feel like you're trying to kill yourself until you're good. I could argue that Mega Man games, ignoring things like X, which honestly does a great job of easing you into the series, most Mega Man games, and like Mega Man Zero, great game by the way, is basically like the Dark Souls of side scrollers. It's like once you know how to play the game, it's super fun and super great. But the giant wall of skill in front of you is so obscene. It's like
Have you
if you
watched someone play Battle Kid? Sorry.
I don't know
a
what
little bit
Battle
off
Kid
topic.
is.
You need to look up Battle Kid because that's the Dark Souls of side scrollers.
I mean, I'm
That
sure
is a terrifying
sure there's
game.
many. I could argue that, you know, the old like Disney Lion King platformer is borderline Dark Souls of side scores. You know, you could say, I want to be the guy, I want to be the boss. All right, not my point. All right, I just generally have a lot of issues with games that have a stupid high learning curve right away, and there's no way of getting around it. And I know Dark Souls has one, but I can at least argue that with Dark Souls, you can grind your levels and you can get through that way. Like, I remember my first Dark Souls game, I literally grinded an entire afternoon just to get some levels so I can make progress in that game, and then I got good. And I've played Mega Man games, and I've tried, and, you know, I've beaten a couple, but, like, there's no way to get past a lack of skill in those games. And things like that just always infuriate me. You know, it's kind of like TCGs where, like, if you have a bad deck, you're never in a million years going to beat someone with a meta deck. It does not matter how good you are at the game.
Oh, sorry, I'm waking up now. Are we still talking about trading card games?
And we actually talk about Mega Man.
Oh, Mega Man. Oh yeah, that sounds kind of familiar.
Also, pseudo hot take, as we are already an hour and 50 minutes into this podcast. We never actually came up with a pop band name, and Noctis, you have not come up with a logo, and I feel like people in the Discord wait for that.
All right, give me a pop band name, and I will come up with a album cover or a logo to put in the Discord.
All right. Also, for anyone confused, whether it be our live guests or anyone in the live chat just listening, so every episode, except episode 3, I'm sorry I forgot. All right, we started a weird meme where, depending on who the guests are and the topic of conversation, we come up with a pop band name. So if we were to all be in a pop band, what our name would be, and then Noctis actually on the spot makes up a logo or album cover or whatever for said name. So I don't know.
I feel like it needs to have Lugia in it.
It needs to have Lugia. All right. I'm trying to cut.
Wait, did you say Lugia?
Marcia said Lugia.
It sounded like you said Lugia, and I'm probably like, what?
Okay.
We need to talk about that.
You know what?
So it could be all right. So I'm gonna rip off your idea now. All right. So it's gonna be TCG the Cool Guys. All right, but we're gonna have a specific album. All right, Wrath of Lugia. All right, and it's just gonna basically. So that's gonna be the album. All right, and then the band name can be the TCG.
All right, okay.
All right,
I got-
get on that as we go back to, but just as we go back to ranting. All right, because endless rants. Well, also,
I maintain the trading card game. It just I collected the cards growing up. I enjoyed the hell out of them, but I never learned how to play the game. Why would I learn how to play the trading card game when the real games are right there? They're so much funner.
I mean, that's some people just actually just really enjoy games with like card games with like decks and stuff like that. That's just, some people like turn-based games. Some people just like decks, and they like, to compete with decks, and they like drawing your cards and coming up with combos.
How hard are the
also-
cards?
I'm just gonna say, like, I might be a little bit biased because I've literally been reorganizing all my Pokemon cards, like all of them from when I was, 8 years old until now. So my desk is literally completely covered in Pokemon cards right now while I am talking to you. I can get to my mouse, but I can't move it that far because there's a stack of cards next to it. I'm gonna have to take a picture and send it to you.
So I guess interesting. All right, so for Wally and Marcia, because I know both of you actually have like trading cards, not in the back of your closet. All right, would you or have you ever sold Pokemon cards for money?
I have. There was a few cards that I got during I don't remember which set it was, but there was a couple of like very valuable cards that I was not going to use competitively. I needed competitive cards that did cost a lot of money, so I sold them online. But
Wait, so you played the TCG in IRL in real life?
Wait,
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
just
was
picked
part of
up on that?
I was part of a local league, man. I have a
I
special
thought we had talked about the game. I'm just saying.
I have a special Pokeball charm that I won. It was like the
Oh,
prize for
see,
one of our
Marcia's now
leagues.
flexing on all of us.
Yes.
All right, what
I
about you,
beat
Wally?
the small children.
You ever sell Pokemon cards to pay for the stick you used to beat down Lugia with?
Oh my gosh. No, because you know what? I got that stick out in the wild. Thank you very much. But no, I have
doesn't take
before.
much.
Yeah, right. Honestly, at this point, I mean, I haven't sold many Pokemon cards recently. I'm actually thinking about it, but more so just so I could fund my habit of opening Pokemon cards. So funding through selling the same thing, it's that
So
sounds logical, right?
no,
No?
actually,
Okay.
I think that is very logical and makes sense. But here's an interesting take. Again, I'm not saying this is a should be scenario. I'm just kind of curious. So, especially given the example of what people are willing to do when you start putting monetary values on Pokemon cards, do you think that all TCGs, let's just say for example, but Pokemon in this case, should not have monetary values to cards, and you should only be trading. You should only be able to, again, pretend it's a fantasy world, but this is a thing where you can only trade Pokemon cards for other Pokemon cards, and it's just up to personal values, like how much things are worth. Like, do you think that the game would be healthier and or more fun in that sense? Let's ignore the fact that we all have bills to pay.
I think it would be healthier. I definitely think it would be healthier. However, it definitely would not be nearly as popular because that, and like again, we talked about it earlier. Like we see it all the time with the scalpers and all the fights and everything happening at Target. Like,
Listen, I want to make money. Don't judge me for stuff.
I'm not judging. Again, I'm not saying this is a should be. I'm merely asking everyone's opinions on what they think of it.
I just think that okay, this is probably really generous, but like 80% of people who buy Pokemon cards are just in it to open them and sell them, or just not even open them, just straight up sell them. So, like, you'd only be, 10-20% of the Pokemon card population right now in terms of people who collect them, but it would definitely be much healthier. It wouldn't be as toxic, and you wouldn't be seeing these people having fights at all these big box stores and making it so those of us who actually love collecting can't get the stuff, we have to go through the scalpers that, made them stop selling them there in the first place.
Looking at you,
That- that's-
PS5.
That's how the internet works. Like the PS5. Jesus, I would just like to buy one. Oh, really? People have the right to buy 100 of these things and sell them online? That's not right. Not my book. So down with capitalism is what I say. That's what this podcast is now about. Down with the man. Down with the system.
So before Noctis goes on about capitalism, I'm going to start wrapping this up for the recording's sake. I definitely want to continue this conversation afterwards. And if you're listening to a recording of this and you want to hear Noctis rant about capitalism, then you should be checking out the live streams. Come watch us live and come watch what happens after recording, where Noctis is able to curse more.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't supposed to curse? Uh-oh.
More. It's like, what about this curse that I've been brewing for TCG talk behind the scenes while I've been quiet this entire time?
I gotta be honest, it's kind of fascinating to listen to you guys talk about trading card games. Usually I have a pretty good idea what we're always talking about, but when it comes down to trading card games, the last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh was back in 2003, and it was right before my deck got stolen. You know how many cards I had in that?
I will admit
that killed my love for it.
I will admit that I personally planned, as soon as you mentioned having Wally inside for a Pokemon episode, I did plan on steering the conversation towards TCG talk. So,
no, like I said, it's fascinating to listen to you guys talk about strategies, how you go about picking cards, all that stuff, because that's all foreign to me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
But yeah, so Wally and Marcia, thank you so much for coming on, and being on the podcast tonight. For anyone who missed part of the podcast, we should have the episode live on all of our platforms. Just say podcast in the chat if you want to get all the links, either tomorrow night or on Friday, depending on how lazy me and Noctis are.
We're not lazy at all.
This is episode 7. Some of you have been asking for our Patreon, so that's going to be released by episode 10, which conveniently, assuming nothing goes wrong, will be our Pride-themed episode. So keep an eye out for that special episode.
End of June. We going gay, everybody.
So if for our Pride episode specifically, we're gonna have open up questions for the chat. If there's any questions on Pride, streaming with Pride, all that stuff, be sure to plan out those questions and bring them to the chat. We'll take all of those questions to make sure every question is answered. Live chat wants to know who it is. It is going to be starring Nerdy Birdie and Lila Astara, both very, very public with their Pride and enforcing that idea on their stream and streaming with Pride and all that stuff. So it'd be very interesting to see their takes on that, especially with a lot of issues that I won't go into right now regarding Twitch and LGBTQIA+.
Oh yeah,
and all that kind of stuff.
tFay's coming out as Pan that day. I forgot to tell it. Fuck, I wasn't supposed to say. I'm sorry, tFay. I forgot I wasn't supposed to tell anyone.
Yeah, now watch. People are actually going to start believing you.
Well, they already write fan fiction about us. I mean,
well, this is very true. This is very true. I can imagine the most sensual fan fiction. Noctis and tFay were alone in a room and they didn't yell at each other. They actually agreed on Pokemon randomizers.
That's not the fan fiction I'm reading. I'm reading PWP. I'm reading Lemons, folks. We yell at each other.
And that's what we're stopping this episode. See you guys.